So when you are engaged in a conflict, when you're facing a difficulty of a difficult communication or a suffering that's coming at work or in the personal space, where, say, a loved one is being difficult, or a boss or a colleague or a client is being difficult and it's causing you duress, and you have to engage to resolve such a scenario, you could show up in any of the 6 ways in their order of resourcefulness. So here is how perhaps we engage when we are dealing with conflicts or with um, difficult circumstances. See where you are in the scenario that you are faced with. The first is when we are confronted with emotions. The first level of engagement is when we are disturbed, we are disappointed, we are hurt. There are emotions present. There is anger, frustration, pain, anguish, insult, and pure injury present. And there is reaction to any of these through frustration or irritation, and we want to gain control back. There seems to be an impulse which is present, which is as if overpowering us. Then, what is to be done at this stage is to be still and spacious with your emotions, to allow yourself to feel where in your body are they present. See if you can permit yourself to just be with the sensations which are present in your body, which connect with each of these emotions or any of these emotions. How do I feel right now? Where in my body do I feel these emotions? That's the level 1 of engagement. The level 2, which is just a sliver higher, just a little better, but not too much better, is when we begin to connect with the circumstances from a position of blame, and we are engaged in drama. This is where we start looking at from with an eyes of judgment, with who's to blame, what is the fault. The analysis happens from a place of superiority, looking downwards upon whose mistake is it, who should be taking responsibility for it, whose fault is it. Now we are playing the game of victimhood sometimes, or of righteousness, that I'm better than these other guys. Why did they have to do that? So when that happens, you're either a victim, that I'm caught in this for out of no fault of mine, or it is a place of judgment and assessment or scrutiny. So this is a place where we are engaged in drama. We are actually in the circumstances, in the situation as a player. And we are now, as a player, we are as if battling it. That's the second level. And when you find yourself there, see, the one thing which is lost is oneness. There is no patience. And we are now playing the game of me and you being separate and apart, and two sides of the table. There is no common good. There is no common goal. There's no patience for what the other person wants to say and why. Even if I can hear them, I can't appreciate, can't relate to them. There's no unity of purpose. There is no common possibility that we are anchored into right now. That's the level 2. So even if it's slightly better than emotional reaction, it is not much better. The level 3, which is slightly better than drama, is the level of situation. Looking at a situation as a management consultant looks at a situation with an analytical point of view, that what is going on? So this is the circumstance, this is the problem, what needs to be done. It's as if an impersonal view. So now you're out of the drama, now you're looking at the circumstances from slightly higher level, and you're looking at it as if it's a logical or a mathematical problem to be solved. And there are players in that solution, in that problem. There are circumstances to be dealt with. There are problems to be solved. But you are still actually dealing with the problem. A level slightly higher, which makes a big difference, is only opens now when you are ready to be slow. So this is as far as only the intellectual level is how far your mind will take you. Now you need to access another kind of intelligence if you want to go even higher. and activate your higher faculties, your greater wisdom. And that needs you to be with your heart. You need to be calm before you can access the further journey from here. So these three levels you already have access to, but for further higher, you first need to calm yourself down, slow down, maybe meditate a little bit, pray if that's your thing. Just allow yourself to be spacious, still, and let go of thinking just for a few minutes before you approach the problem again. The next new avenue or the next new level will show up only if you could let go of the previous mindsets in favor of the kindness, the stillness, the calm, the tranquility, the love that is the place of your heart. So from here, you need to come to the intelligence of your heart. And now when you look at the circumstance, you can look from another different level. And that level is first a level of being, which means that you are now willing to examine from the choice of how you showed up on the scene. Did you show up as a person who is the highest version that you know yourself to be? That means, were you being the most tranquil, settled, calm, easeful, gracious, generous, and spiritual self, wiser self when you showed up to the scene? Or were you being that agitated and a little bit reactionary, selfish self, survivor? So you are now making a choice. How was I being when I showed up to the scene? Who shall I be? Who am I called to be? How shall I deal with the circumstances is subsequent question. The first question is, who deals with the circumstance? So before I show up to the scene, who shall I be? Who am I called to be? What kind of a person am I called to be? Am I called to be a person who is calm, gentle, gracious? Or am I called to be that old self which was reacting and emotional and upset or judgmental or analytical? So it invites you to be first the place of tranquility and generosity. This is the stage of making a choice of being. Who shall I be? But this is not it. You can continue to rise. The next level is the level of possibility, the level of where you begin to pay attention to what's the opportunity here. What is the highest possibility that exists in this moment? What's possible between the players here? What is the best possibility that can exist between you and me who are here in these circumstances? You will find that the best possibility could be love, harmony, and joy out of mutual support, and that teaming up for a common good. And when you make it real and palpable, and that making it real and palpable is not an intellectual imagination, it's about relating to that possibility emotionally, connecting with how wonderful it will be if we could once again experience the kind of love we have experienced earlier before, or which is possible between us. That's the opportunity again. So it needs you to slow down even more and ask the question, what wants to happen? What wants to unfold? Universe, what does the universe want to create here that would be the most beautiful possibility in this circumstance? So that's one level higher, right? That's the fifth level, the level of the possibility. And then it's an invitation for you to rise to even the sixth level, which is a level of surrender and celebration. You're willing to stand a little bit back and facilitate through appreciation and allowing the coming alive of that possibility which is here, which wants to emerge spontaneously. You want to channel the spirit, you want to channel the universe, you want to channel the forces of God and divinity and your own ultimate goodness to permit this beauty to come alive, which wants to come alive naturally, spontaneously. So it is possible to do, it's possible to work from any of these levels in all circumstances. We can do that when we are working with our family members, when they are causing us irritation, or we could do that when we are in conflict at work. You could show up emotionally, reacting to instances in an instant, or you could do it by operating in a drama wherein who's to blame? It's your fault, it's his fault, her fault. Or it could be about, I'm the management consultant here. Let me solve the problem here intellectually. I'm being the smart guy here. Let's be smart about this. Or you could calm down, let go of whatever fault finding, willing to feel the emotions. You're willing to even suspend your intellectual resources just for a few moments before you bring them alive again from a new level of wisdom. You meditate, you bring in love, and then you begin to access higher channels, higher faculties, your greater ways of being. And then you're willing to ask, who am I called to be? Then you rise even one level further, slowing down even more, appreciating, paying attention to what wants to emerge, what kind of future wants to emerge, what wants to happen. That what is the opportunity, the most beautiful opportunity of this moment. And then finally, you are willing to surrender to the universe, creating it without your active participation, but through your active appreciation and gratitude. Now you are playing, but your game is humility and perhaps prayer and appreciation. And now you are playing with each other through that attitude of appreciation and gratitude and grace and perhaps generosity, complete love. See if this works in your life. You'd like to try that out. Thank you.